Hello everyone, my name is TSPage and welcome back to another video. Today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be covering RotMC. If you haven't seen videos on other channels already, or you just don't know what RotMC is, basically, this guy named RotMG, a very popular PPE YouTuber from the good old days of Realm, decided to make a server in Minecraft that resembled Realm very strongly. And might I say, he did a fantastic job. Now, you may have seen a few videos already posted about this server, one of the biggest ones being Spencer, who covered this server quite a while ago. The thing is with that video, from all that time ago, is the server was very non-polished and still quite buggy and laggy. Since then though, the server has been vastly improved. Lag is much more of a minimal issue, if not an issue at all. The only time I experienced lag was once about every 20 to 30 minutes. I had about a 2-second lag spike, which was pretty spooky, but all things considered for a Minecraft server, that's not bad at all. All of the enemies now have custom spriting as well, and it is looking to be a fantastic relaunch for the server. With that being said, this is basically just a relaunch. This coming Saturday, the server will be open again for the public to run and play in again. I will be playing personally, as well as a few other Realm of the Mad God content creators I know. So I encourage you to try it, and join the Discord down in the description below for the server to see all announcements and keep up to date. With that said, let's move on to some of the much improved gameplay. So rather than discussing everything that you see on screen at all times, I'm just going to talk about some of the general ideas and practices behind this version of the game. Basically, right click is to shoot, and you can get a different ability based on your class. As of right now, RotMC has about half of the characters that are currently in Realm, and actually has the Battle Mage as well as all of those classes, so it's almost being innovative, ahead of the curve, you might say. And it's really cool to see all the custom spriting and stuff that they did compared to the older videos. When I watched the older videos, I just felt like I was shooting Minecraft mobs, and I really was. But now it feels like it's a completely different experience, and it's actually really fun. I'll showcase some of the harder boss fights as well here soon, but you get the basic idea. Another thing interesting to note about RotMC is the leveling system is completely different than that of the regular leveling in Realm. Rather than leveling up to 20, and then once you die you reset and all of your levels are gone, you have to build a new character, you lose a percentage of your fame / your levels, and then you keep the progress on your character for the most part. Now obviously you don't keep the items because that'd be dumb, but you do keep a lot of the progress as far as leveling. That's why leveling takes significantly longer in RotMC, but at the same time is very balanced once you consider that you don't lose all of your levels every time you die. As you can see right now, I'm doing Void on a level 5. Obviously, I don't do very much soulbound damage, but this is technically one of the hardest boss fights in the game, and although it is one of the hardest boss fights in the game, it's not undoable on these low tier characters, low level characters. I did have to drink a lot of HP pods, and I was not getting a lot of damage in, admittedly, but I was able still to showcase this fight, which is a really cool fight. It's got a lot of effects and a lot of animations, all of which I don't want to actually spoil. I want you to experience it in full for your first time, but there's a lot of stuff that happens during the Void fight. It's really fun and enjoyable to do it in game. As everyone here knows, getting white bags is probably one of the most satisfying things in Realm, and they've got white bags in here too, and just seeing that bag drop is usually enough. But in this game, well, the white bag animation and the drop indication for it are a little bit different, and this is the first bit of my streamer luck, and I'll just show you the reaction. Wait, I got the white. Let's go. Easy dub. Streamer loot confirmed. Streamer loot confirmed. There was me memeing about getting streamer loot because that was like the 3rd dungeon I had ever done, and it was really cool to get that white bag. That whole effect, it pops white bag on your screen, the sounds and everything was just like, I was caught off guard. I thought just the white bag meant, oh, someone in the dungeon got it. And then I was like, oh shit, that's my white bag. That's my white bag. Let's go. And speaking of white bags, there's something really cool that you can do called forging with white bags. Once you get enough of the white bag, and then you grab some forge fragments, which we'll discuss later, you can combine those 3 into an upgraded version of the weapon. The next dungeon we're going to take a look at is the Shatters, and for some reason, some way, somehow, his favorite dungeon in Realm is the Shatters. And I gotta say, the boss fight for the Shatters were all so fun. And I enjoyed this Shatters way more than Realm Shatters, and it's not even close. Because you get to jump over these shots here that are constantly shooting out from the Sentinel, even though I didn't learn that until later in the fight. There's a lot of shots you can jump over in this fight, as well as just the fight is actually engaging because you can't just sit on a wall. And then the Twilight Archmage also is a pretty decent fight. Was a little bit forgettable in my opinion, but that's same with Shatters, lol. And then the Forgotten Kings fight was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think Rolo's done a fantastic, absolutely fantastic job with the Shatters. While we're on the topic of dungeons / Shatters, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to talk about some of the differences between the dungeons in the server versus in-game because of the way Minecraft is, according to Rolo, and I've seen this as well. Unless you want to host multiple servers, then it's impossible to have dungeons that'll just spawn throughout the realm. So to combat this, event bosses and stuff like, you know, the Dwarf Miner, the Lord of the Lost Lands, etc. drop keys to dungeons. So for the Shatters, if we were killing the avatar that you saw at the beginning of the video, there's a chance that one of the people would get a key to the Shatters. And then once you get a key to the Shatters, you'd go to Nexus, and then you'd type /dungeons, and then you'd be able to open it, or you'd be able to use your inventory or something like that to open it. I didn't get any keys during my time on the server, unluckily, but I mean, it'll happen. I'm sure I'll get one at one point. But basically, it'll open up the dungeon for everyone in the Nexus and or realm to join by typing /dungeons, and then you have to join as quickly as possible. The system, I assume, will change as needed over time, but for now, it's a pretty decent system, and it allows the whole group to teleport away, and after a certain amount of time after the dungeon is completed, all of the enemies and spawns will reset, allowing for the dungeon to then be run again. There's 2 dungeons per dungeon, I guess. So, for example, with Shatters, there's Shatters 1 and there's Shatters 2. Therefore, there can be 2 running at a time. Usually there will always be one running as long as there's a decent concurrent player base, and it's just a matter of can you get in, and if you're doing a run with people that you know, then you could obviously preemptively get ready to do Shatters by spam clicking, joining the dungeon, and getting in basically immediately if you know someone else is about to run. As I said, I think the system is a little bit flawed in its base form right now, but with a small player base, it's more than fine. And once the server size grows, a queue of some sort would not be that difficult to set up, or keys having some control over who gets in wouldn't be too hard to set up, I don't think. So it has a lot of potential, and the system as it stands right now is pretty decent. And the way I described Shatters having 2 different options for getting in, or 1 Shatters and 2 Shatters, that goes for every dungeon as well. So basically, Undead Lair, Abyss of Demons, Void Entity, everything like that, all of them have 2 dungeons available at any one time. So unless there's a absolute boatload of people, it's going to be near impossible to fill up every dungeon if there's multiple people opening keys. And the last, and probably one of the coolest things I wanted to go over in this video, is the idea of forged items. So if you think about exaltations as they are in Realm of the Mad God right now, you can kind of get an idea for how this item forge works. It's nothing like the RotMG current item forge. What item forging is in this game is there's mini bosses that are scattered throughout the map, and they have a chance to drop these things called forge fragments. Once you get 6 of these forge fragments and 3 of a desired white bag, then you can forge and or craft an upgraded version of that weapon. For example, on screen now I'm going to be playing with both the Doombow and the Exalted Doombow. The Exalted Doombow has 2 shots instead of 1, basically doubling its DPS, and then for the Cult Staff, for example, normally it shoots backwards. What happens when you forge it? Well, it shoots forwards, making it an extremely, extremely strong item. That's just a few of the uses of the forge, and it basically works for every major white bag in the game. These forged items are probably going to be the most prestigious in the game and really just add a whole level of depth to chasing items and grinding out the game in an enjoyable way, because when you get to use these items, unlike in Realm where you go ahead, you get your character fully exalted, and then it's like a lot of people quit playing the character because it's exalted, you get to use the items and they're even better than before. And it's just from testing out the exalted Doombow or the forged Doombow, I could only imagine the potential with this and how good it could be in the future. Needless to say, there's already so many white bags implemented with this feature. It's so cool. It's so cool. I can't wait for you guys to try it and to get my hands on one legitimately without getting it taken away after using it for just a little test period. With that said though, that's all the major topics I really wanted to cover in this video. At the time of release now, at the end of the video, the server may be up. And if it's not up, go to the Discord link in the description below and it'll be up soon. It'll be up to date and I'll give the server IP in the description as soon as it is up and running. So, with that said, I appreciate you guys a lot. If you want to like and sub, it'd mean a lot. And if you don't, then, I'll be sad. So, I don't want to be sad. Alright, you guys have a good one. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys on the server. And peace!